Today, we will be making a magical winter wonderland collage. Collage is a French word that literally means to glue. Today, we will be gluing with tissue paper. Put your name, your grade, and your teacher's initial on the back of your paper. I have pre-mixed a glue and water solution that is great for collage. Spread that solution across your paper. Cover it completely, but not too much. You don't want it to be dripping with glue, just enough for the tissue paper to stick. Use various colors as you collage. Press down firmly so all the tiles, the tissue paper squares, stick down firmly and cover the entire space. Once the tissue papers are secured, go over the tissue one more time with a brush and the glue solution. This is to make sure that the tissue won't come off later. Put it on the drying rack and we will use this again at a later time. To create the background for our collage, we're going to use watercolors, blue, green, and purple. You can mix these together how you'd like. We're creating a winter sky background. We want the sky to look very wintry, so a lot of blues and purples would be great for that. Adding salt can create a cool look as well. On the back of this paper, make sure to put your name, teacher's name, and your grade. Once the watercolor sky is dry, we are going to add snow using white paint. On the bottom portion of your paper, create a line out of paint from side to side. Taking your brush, use the brush to push the paint downward in a downward motion. Adding water can help the paint glide a little bit better if it's too thick. So paint the entire lower half white. To add snow, dip your paintbrush into some white paint. Get ready to flick. Take your finger and get it close to the paper and start flicking that paint. You're going to see speckles and sometimes paint blobs. Once you're done, if you have extra paint on your fingers, feel free to tap it on your paper if you want to and clean it off with a paper towel. Put it on the drying rack. We'll use this again later. Now that the tissue paper has dried, we're going to draw the trees on top of the paper. You can choose to draw on the back of the paper or on the front. This is an example of how to create the tree on the back of the paper. In this example, I show you how to draw the trees directly onto the front of the tissue paper. Using your ruler, draw a line that is equal on both sides. So the first line I draw slanted diagonally, and the second line I draw about the same length diagonally, and I connect them with a straight line. Making another tree, same concept. And connect it with a straight line. And do this again. You need to make about 3 or 4 trees. Now that you've drawn those lines, cut out the trees with a pair of scissors. If you have leftover paper, continue making additional trees. Using a silver or gold pen, draw a line down the center of the tree. Out of the sides of that straight line, draw diagonal lines facing upward. You can do this with a silver or gold pen. Once our background is dry, it's time to place our trees in a way which appeals to the eye and that looks pleasing to us. Make sure before you add glue that you fiddle around with the tree placement. Make it to be exactly the way you want it to look in the final arrangement. Once you have your final arrangement, get a brush and add some glue to the back. Do this with all of your trees. Make sure they're firmly fastened to the paper. Once you've done that, flip it over onto the back and rub the back of the paper. It's like giving it a little pat, a little back rub. Rub, 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 rub until you know it's really stuck on tightly. Now if you get a little glue on the table, that's okay, we'll clean it up later. Now it's time to make sure everything is nicely fastened down. Using your glue mixture, go on top of the trees. Cover all of the trees with that glue. It's okay, it dries clear, so don't be afraid of going painting on top of those trees with glue. It will dry clear later. Flip it on the back again if you're not sure if those trees are on tightly, and give it another rub. Put it on the drying rack to dry. Once things have dried, you can go over your tree stems again with a gold pen and make your stem fall into the snow. I can't wait to see your magical winter collage.